in each of one of the position groups in your Bleacher Report posting, you also have, other than just 1 through 15 on your board, biggest riser and biggest faller. You've got in the quarterback position, Drew Lock of Missouri is the biggest riser, and Will Grier of West Virginia is the biggest faller. Why?
You know, watching those two guys together at the Senior Bowl, you don't want to look at the Senior Bowl and learn everything from there, but you want to take some notes away from there. Will Grier just did not look like he had the arm talent or the accuracy. He was very inconsistent, which matches up with what we saw the last couple of years at West Virginia. And when you've played in that Dana Holgorsen scheme, I think as an evaluator, you have concerns about his ability to hit passes, on time in tight windows where you can really have to throw your guy open. He didn't do that well in Mobile. I thought Drew Lock, on the other hand, was the most impressive quarterback of the 8 that we saw there. Very strong arm, very athletic. He has it in his head that he's the next Patrick Mahomes, and I wish he would stop doing the no-look passes in practice. But he has some traits and some gifts that are really special. I think it'll be a lot like Josh Allen last year, where maybe the tape wasn't great and the guy's below 60% completion percentage, but the arm talent, the athleticism, and the character are good enough that you would bet a top 10 pick on him, whether you're the Denver Broncos or someone else. It does really feel like Drew Lock's going to be an early pick.
And I was watching so much of the bowl games, as we all do, and I watched Benny Snell for Kentucky just absolutely dominate Penn State. And you have him as your biggest faller in your running backs group to the point where I don't even see him in your top 15. What's that all about?
Yeah, it was hard this year with the running back position because there are so many good ones. So I apologize to Benny Snell. I just couldn't get him in the top 15. When I watched him, I saw like a powerful runner, but someone who can be a bit frenetic at times. He doesn't see the hole and always explode through it. It's not always a smooth transition for him. Too often it's, he just runs violent into his offensive line. He can be impatient. So I liked his game, and you're right. He was one of the most productive players in the SEC last year and in the entire nation. But I looked at him as like a guy who's an NFL backup unless he gets in just the perfect system where it can be a great fit for what he does as an inside-outside runner. But, the limitations in terms of, he doesn't catch the ball very well, hasn't shown a lot of aptitude as a pass blocker, and that's where the league's going. Even if you're Todd Gurley or Saquon Barkley, you're going to be expected to block, and you're going to be expected to catch the ball coming out of the backfield, and that's probably his weakest aspect right now. I'll be curious to see how fast he actually runs here, too.
Okay. And Nick Bosa is your undisputed number 1 player, correct?
Yeah, that was easy. I had someone tell me years back that the great players are easy to scout, and that's Nick Bosa. I know he's been hurt, and you can have concerns about that, even with his brother has been banged up a little bit in the NFL, but what he does as an outside pass rusher is just special. He's a great athlete, and you can tell that he's taken to the coaching that he's gotten because he's very, very developed for a prospect.
Yeah, and for top edge rushers, Matt Miller at Bleacher Report, you've got Bosa as most NFL-ready, best pass rusher, and best potential. That's a heck of a triple threat right there.
Not bad, right?
I know, and I've heard
be the first pick.
And I've heard, yeah, right. So there's no chance Arizona passes up on him. Correct? There's no chance.
I've learned to never say never, right? Because too many crazy things can happen. But you would think that.
Well, you're going to hear, Matt. I mean, as you know, Murray's going to, I think, look good at the combine, which means he's only going to look even better at his pro day, and it's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger for him. And then the video of Cliff Kingsbury saying what he's going to say is going to be what he said, prior to playing Oklahoma as Texas Tech's guy. And he could have been doing the typical Lou Holtz talking up Rice, but that's no Rice that he was playing.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.